Hello folks, this is K.W. Wayne for K.W. Wayne's Animal Chats. Later this week, the name is going to change from Animal Taz to Animal Chats. Today we're going to talk about the 1970 Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions were coached by Joe Schmidt, the former middle linebacker. After leaving the Lions as a player, became a coach. And they went 10-4 for the season. And in the playoffs, they were going to be playing against the Dallas Cowboys. It was played at the Cotton Bowl, by the way, and it was a very good game. There were some great players in that game. Alex Karras was there, and so was Larry Hand. Mike Lucci was the new middle linebacker. Paul Newmoff was the left backer, and Wayne Walker the right linebacker. Lem Barney and Dick LeBeau were the cornerbacks, and Mike Weegar was the strong safety. On the offense, Greg Landry was the starting quarterback, and Mel Farr and Alty Taylor were the running backs. Earl McCullough and Larry Walton were the two wideouts. Ed Flanagan was their center that year, and Charlie Sanders was just breaking in with the team as a young tight end, and he was their starter in that game. It was an interesting game. It's the only game in the history of the NFL playoff game that went 5-0. As far as I know, there's only been two other games in NFL history that went 5-0, and those were regular season games. But this was the first time that there had been a 5-0 game for a playoff game. Now, earlier in the season, the Dallas Cowboys had won a game 6-2, which is kind of an interesting football score as well. 2 field goals to 1 safety. The way that Dallas scored, there was a 26-yard field goal in the first quarter, and then there wasn't another score until in the fourth quarter, when Greg Landry was sacked in the end zone by Jethro Pugh, and that was all the scoring for the game. A couple things that were very interesting in the game. Craig Morton was the Dallas quarterback, and he only completed 4 passes in the game for 38 yards. Dwayne Thomas had 132 yards or 35 yards, something like that. And Walt Garrison, the other running back for them, had I believe it was 72 yards on the day. So it was kind of an interesting game. Kind of a slow-moving game, and one of those games where the Lions just couldn't get anything going. Alty Taylor had, I believe, only 16 yards in the game, and Mel Farr, the fullback, had only 31. Landry only completed 5 passes in the game for something like 44 yards. And so he was taken out toward the end of the game, and Bill Munson came in to replace him. and Munson only completed a couple of passes, and the running backs got a few yards, and Detroit managed to get inside the Dallas 20. One thing that Dallas was known for, these were the early days of Tom Landry, their coach, and the Dallas Cowboys could never seem to win the big games, and because they couldn't win those big games, they were kind of dreading the idea that Detroit was driving at the end of the game. And honestly, people began to believe that that was going to be the situation in this game, that Dallas was going to get beat in the end of the game. Detroit was going to score a touchdown, and Dallas would go down again. But it wasn't to be. The next pass that Bill Munson completed was to a guy by the name of Mel Renfro. Now, he was not on the Lions team, unfortunately. He was a defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys. And that was what ended the game. It was kind of a heartbreaking game, but nonetheless, it was a good game. Mike Weger, the strong safety for Detroit, returned an interception for 31 yards and kind of got a little something going, but unfortunately it wasn't something where they were able to get the football into a place where they could even kick a field goal. It was kind of a frustrating game, really. But I remember that game kind of with excitement because it was the first time that Detroit had played a playoff game since 1957. And it was very exciting that Detroit was in the playoffs finally. Well, Earl McCullough, one of their wideouts, had one pass for 39 yards. Larry Walton had 3 passes for 39 yards. Alty Taylor had 2 passes for 7. And Steve Owens had a pass for 7 yards. And essentially that was everything other than the 47 yards that they got rushing that day. That was the whole offense for Detroit. But nobody could get anything going. And even though the game was a low scoring and kind of a sad affair when it comes right down to it, at least Detroit had broken the plane of not going to the playoffs for 13 years, and that was their first playoff game. And I believe that it was another 21 years maybe before Detroit went to the playoffs again. And interestingly enough, in 1991, that was the year that Jerry Ball was their nose tackle, and quite a great one at that. Anyway, they wound up winning that game 38-6, and that was the first playoff win that Detroit had had since 1957. Was a great game, and I don't think I'll ever forget that game. Unfortunately, Jerry Ball got hurt, and Mike Utley was paralyzed. And then during the off season, Eric Andelsack, while he was mowing his lawn, was hit by a pickup truck and killed. It was a very sad moment because Mike Utley and Eric Andelsack had been 2 of the best young guards in the NFL. It was kind of sad to see that neither one of them were going to be playing again. It took Detroit a while, to be able to redo their offensive line, and that was an unfortunate time. Well, this is K.W. Wayne for K.W. Wayne's Animal Taz, soon to be Animal Chats. Remember to like and to subscribe, and if you like history of sports, we like to do that. You folks have a great afternoon. Please remember to like and to subscribe, and to share videos with other people. Hopefully there's other people who like the history of the team as well. And we'll be doing some of that also with the Detroit Tigers as well. So you folks have a good day.